Hi there, learners, and welcome to our CatPat video for today. And this is specifically for the grade 12s. Okay, so grade 12s, you got your PAT. There were two documents, one for us as teachers and the other one for you as the learner. And we went through a few of the items. We looked at the fact that we've got phase 1, 2, and 3. And then we started going into the topic. We looked at the task. And then we looked specifically at what we needed to do. So they gave you a whole lot of links there, and we looked at the overview, etc. But in this video, I want to look at us finishing everything off for phase 1. So if I go through this again, we've created a folder structure. We've created the report. The report has a cover page, an automatic table of contents, automatic table of figures. We've got our headings in place, an appendix with a screenshot. We've done these videos. And then you needed to have a task definition, right? Please, your task definition must be around 300 words or half a page. And obviously, it's going to be under the heading task definition. But what's important here is that it answers the question, what is the situation? What will the focus be? How will I go about the investigation? And who is the target audience? So please make sure that your task definition answers that question. Then we went on to the focus question. We spoke about that a bit, and I think I did a video on, looking at this table over here. So once you've got all of that in place, I think that's around about it for for what you needed to do for phase 1. Okay, so let's just have a look over here, because what I'm going to do is go to the end so we can see what it is that we hand in. Okay, so what do you need to hand in for phase 1? In other words, in your phase 1 folder, what needs to be there? There needs to be obviously a phase 1 subfolder, so a folder called phase 1. You need a single report, in other words, one document that you've used Word for. And that one document will have a cover page. It's going to have the different headings on separate pages. You are going to have a task definition. You are going to have a focus question under the relevant headings. The appendix, which we've done in the other videos, you're going to have that in a screenshot of your folder structure, an appendix with a completed questions and sources table with a minimum of 10 questions covering 3 categories of question types. In other words, it's those 3 tables, right? Sources for each question, the appropriate bibliographical detail. And I just want to go down here to addendum D. Okay, so this is the table that you'll pop your questions into. Remember, you need to indicate a question, a level, the category, because it's going to be grouped according to your different categories. So you can have one massive table with, all 10 questions in it. You need to indicate the type of source and then pop in the bibliographical information. So these are your headings over here. Who's the author? What's the name of the website? When was it created? When was it accessed? If you have any issues with these, please just indicate N/A that it wasn't available, and then the URL. Right, you'll have to do this for each one of these questions. So what is the question? Maybe it was, how do I find information on privacy? What sort of level is that question at? What category is it at? Where am I going to find the answer to that? On the internet? Yes, I am. What site are you going to? You'll provide those details. And then the quality of the information. Yes, you went to this site, but now you're going to evaluate that site and say, well, look, what's the sort of authority that this site has? Is it a legitimate website that speaks with solid authority? Is the information current? Is it accurate? Is it objective? Does it cover what you are looking for? Right? Does it answer the whole question over here? And then you'll put a little summary at the bottom of that table, or right at the end over here. So this is what you'll do for each one of those. So let's just go back. In fact, let's go back to our hand in for phase 1. Okay, then an assessment of the quality of sources, that's all in that table. So this whole thing over here, all these instructions are based on that table. And then an appendix, and there is an appendix with a declaration of authenticity. So when we mark, and it's included here, right? You have the rubric here. Please make sure before you hand in phase 1, once you've done your work, go and check it according to the assessment tool. Have a look here. Check out your task definition. Is it describing the current situation? Does it answer the question, what is the focus? How are you going to go about the investigation? Who is the targeted audience? Here they tell us all 4 questions in the criteria are clearly answered, and it's in the learner's own words. If that's the case, we give you the 4 marks. Okay, that's for your task definition. Your focus question. Is it clearly phrased? Is the question researchable? In other words, can we get an answer to that question? Right? Can we go and check on the internet to find, an answer from multiple sources? Is it a single sentence? So make sure it's a single sentence. Clearly relevant to the scenario. So obviously, it's a question that has to deal with the topic, guys. Again, if all 4 aspects are clearly present, you will get the 4 marks. Then those tables. Now, hear me when I say this, right? Please, this is why it's important to read these instructions. All questions provided are relevant to the topic. Questions are on at least 3 different cognitive levels. They are grouped under different categories, and you must have at least 3 different categories. If you have that in place in those tables, you'll get your 4 marks. But wait, there's more. If you have an appropriate source and there are 10 questions, a minimum of 10 questions, you've made sure that in your sources you have at least 2 websites identified as possible sources and at least 1 other source. So you can have 9 of your sources be internet/website, and then 1 source being a magazine, newspaper, your textbook, whatever it is. But if you have that, you have your 10 questions. You have an appropriate source. Guys, there's another 4 marks. So these tables is already giving me 8 marks over there. When I add the bibliographical information, like the author, name of the website, those things I went through, it's another 4 marks. So those tables are going to end up, if you do it correctly, and here's another 4, you'll end up getting like 16 marks in total that come from those either 3 separate tables or just 1 table that's got everything in it. Okay, so please do take your time and make sure you have that. In fact, it's 20 marks, guys, because of the summary that has to be at the end of that table. So I'm going to go down there again. Just take you through that once more. Just understand, while you are getting marks for your focus question and your task definition and those things, your table is very important for having 10 questions, right? So in other words, this section over here, your question, the level, and the category inside of a table, having those 10 questions, having 3 categories and 3 different cognitive levels, you're going to get 4 marks for that, even if you do nothing else. When we have our source and our bibliographical information and our quality, because all of these, your bibliographical information is 4 marks, your quality of information is 4 marks, your summary is 4 marks. So this entire table with you having 10 questions and all the relevant info will give you around 20 marks of phase 1. So when we go to our phase 1 rubric over here and we go to the end, you'll see the total is 32. So already I'm getting 20 marks just for my table. I'm getting another 4 marks for my task definition. That's 24. Another 4 marks for my focus question. That's 28. And then for making sure that my phase 1 document is a single document, it has the headings, it's got the appendixes that I need, and it's got evidence of sources. Right? So if you take screenshots of the websites that you've been to and you pop it in the folder, That's the evidence of your sources. Guys, there's your 32 marks for phase 1 done. So please go through that, make sure you've got that in place, and that's how you'll get your 32 marks for phase 1.